Polygamy is not a practice limited to the religion of Islam. Rather, it is something well known in the history of the people of the book, the Jews and the Christians as well. It is only in the later times that their religious men frowned upon it or forbade it outright. Polygamy in Judaism. Polygamy existed among the Israelites before the time of Moses, who continued the institution without imposing any limit on the number of marriages which a Hebrew husband might contract. The Jewish Encyclopedia states, "While there is no evidence of a polyandrous state in primitive Jewish society, polygamy seems to have been a well-established institution, dating from the most ancient times and extending to comparatively modern days. Another common practice was the taking of concubines. In later times, the Talmud of Jerusalem restricted the number by the ability of the husband to maintain the wives properly. Some rabbis, however, counseled that a man should not take more than 4 wives. Polygamy was prohibited in Judaism by the rabbis, not God. Rabbi Gershom ben Judah is credited by forbidding polygamy in the 11th century, outlawing it for 1,000 years, that ended in 1987, to Eastern European Jews. Polygamy in Christianity. Jesus, who otherwise overlooked polygamy, is irrelevant as a model for marriage customs, since he did not marry during his earthly ministry. According to Father Eugene Hillman, nowhere in the New Testament is there any explicit commandment that marriage should be monogamous or any explicit commandment forbidding polygamy. The Church in Rome banned polygamy in order to conform to Greco-Roman culture that prescribed only one legal wife, while tolerating concubinage and prostitution. The Roman Emperor, Valentinian I, in the 4th century, authorized Christians to take 2 wives. In the 8th century, Charlemagne, holding power over both church and state, in his own person practiced polygamy, having 6, or according to some authorities, 9 wives. During the Protestant Reformation, Martin Luther said, "I confess for my part that if a man wishes to marry 2 or more wives, I cannot forbid him, for it does not contradict the Scripture." He advised Philip of Hesse that he should keep his second marriage a secret to avoid public scandal. African churches have long recognized polygamy. They stated in the 1988 Lambeth Conference, "It has long been recognized in the Anglican Communion that polygamy in parts of Africa and traditional marriage do genuinely have features of both faithfulness and righteousness." Mwai Kibaki, the Christian president of Kenya, whose victory was attributed to the hand of the Lord by the Presbyterian Church of East Africa, is polygamous. No longer under the previous rule of Christian whites, post-apartheid South Africa has also legalized polygamy. Early in its history, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints practiced polygamy in the United States. Splinter groups left the church to continue the practice after the church banned it. Polygamy among these groups persists today in Utah, neighboring states, and the spin-off colonies, as well as among isolated individuals with no organized church affiliation. In the United States, polygamy is illegal, but it exists unofficially, with an estimated 30,000 to 80,000 people living as polygamists in the West. Typically, these families are Mormon fundamentalists, or Christian groups that maintain polygamy is a time-honored and scriptural practice. Before one points the finger at Islam and Muslims when discussing polygamy, it is necessary that one have enough knowledge of the subject and its history. One should not judge practices held acceptable throughout history, though the narrow mind of the present times. Rather, one should research the subject thoroughly and, most importantly, seek divine guidance. Subscribe to this channel for more inspirational and teachings. Your share could be the reason someone else finds their faith. Let's make this go viral.